Imagine this. You've done all the hard work. You've got the girl, you've got her number, you've got her maybe at your place, maybe you've got her somewhere else. And now it's time to actually have sex. And there's a big problem that you occur. You can't get it up. You don't really enjoy it as you were expecting it to. And what do we think? We thank porn because porn has basically fucked up our minds. It has messed us up that bad that even when we achieved what we wanted to achieve, we've done all the hard work to get the girl, we still can't do what we actually want. Because porn is literally the worst thing out there. It's the worst drug. And it has these terrible side effects. Myself, I have gone through this. I remember I had a hookup. Okay, this was my first, like, I was losing my virginity, so not the best place to do it, not the best person to do it with, but I did it, and it wasn't what I was expecting. Couldn't ejaculate. Half the time I was a little soft. I'm not trying to be vulgar, but I'm trying to tell you this, that us guys, we struggle through this. We go through this where it's like, it's genuinely effed pretty bad. It's not like an erectile dysfunction, but some people do go that far where they actually get an erectile dysfunction. It's more the fact that it's not something that you consume on the internet. So I want to address these big bad problems that porn is giving you. And it's starting off with, it's wasting so much of your time, more than you actually think. Now, of course, you think maybe like, oh, but I watch porn 10 minutes a day. I watch it 1 hour a week. We used to cope, and we still say that. Like, I used to say, I'm just going to play like 1 to 2 hours of video games a day when I was gaming. It never was. It never was 1 or 2 hours. It was always like 3 or 4 or 5. So it's never actually what you say it is. And when you add up, imagine all these years, because porn, you watch it for a couple of years. I myself, I was addicted to it probably for like 5 years, on and off, fluctuating. But imagine all that time, probably more than 10,000 hours. If you put 10,000 hours into an actual genuine skill, you would have mastered that skill, because I think people say you only need 10,000 hours to master a skill. So imagine if you put that in fighting. Or imagine if you put those like 10,000 hours into some business. Yes, over the span of 5 years, but you would have like a genuine successful business. So what a lot of like you probably don't realize is it genuinely wastes so much of your time. Not only even if you say, I just watch it for 10 minutes, blah, and then I'm done, but the aftermath is worse. Think of it like this. You ejaculate and then you have post-nut clarity where you feel genuinely so shit. You feel shit with your life. You feel depressed. You feel like you don't want to do anything. And this is exactly my point. It's not that you've just watched it and you're done, but this post-nut clarity hits you. You don't want to do anything after. The next day you're not motivated, you're not disciplined. So it's not as actually as long as you think. It's far, far worse and longer. And then I want to talk about bad sexual habits, which is basically not performing with a girl. Because think of it like this. Every guy who struggles with a porn addiction, he wants to have sex. He wants to experience. Mostly it's the people that are virgins, because they haven't actually gone out there. They haven't tried. They haven't put in the work to actually get the girl. Because it's easier to say, or it's easier to watch porn, ejaculate, than to go out there, go to the gym, work on yourself, work on your speaking skills, surround yourself with people, focus on your purpose, and then girls will like naturally come around you when you're more red-pilled, blah, 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 blah. It's way easier just to watch porn than to do this with girls. So when you do that, your brain is rewiring you. It's rewiring your brain cells, your dopamine, that when you eventually will get into a relationship, you can't get it up. You don't have the same like sexual urges and energy as you do to watching porn. You will ejaculate way faster watching porn than with a girl. Because I'm not trying to be vulgar here, but a girl's private is way softer than your hand. And there's a thing that guys do, which is basically called the death grip, is that you jack off so many times that basically you go harder and harder with your hand. And then when you think of it like as a girl, it's not that hard. So of course, it's not going to be the same as when you like basically just jack off. So what I'm trying to say is it basically leads to bad sexual habits. You can struggle with an erectile dysfunction. Your libido won't be like, you won't be craving the sex. You won't be like wanting to fuck pretty much. Because at the end of the day, we're cavemen. This is what cavemen did. They literally just went, grabbed a bitch, fucked her, grabbed another bitch, fucked her as well. They want to spread their seed. I mean, you can argue that it's not true. But if you're a man, you will genuinely feel deep down that there's some primal urge to you just to impregnate as many women as you can. And while watching porn, you literally struggle with this. You struggle with bad sexual habits. So when it actually comes to sex, you maybe not even going to enjoy it. Maybe you can't even get hard. Maybe you just tell the girl, I can't do this, because your brain has been literally functioned to just do porn. And then when you have sex, it's something completely different, and your brain's like, what the hell's just happening, you know? Like, whoa, we need to tell him to stop. We don't know what this is. And the worst part is, you probably know this by now, but you're basically watching. You're a watcher. You're not an action taker. This is similar with YouTube online content creators. Is you're going to have people that are going to give you a message, like David Goggins, okay? You're going to have people like David who will just tell you, go run, go disciplined, go do this thing. There's going to be two types of people. One, the action takers. The action takers who are just going to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go run a marathon. This was me. I read David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. And after that, I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to go run a marathon. So no training whatsoever. I went and ran a marathon with my friend. And then you're going to have people who are basically just watchers and consumers that are going to watch this, listen to it, and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. And they never end up doing it. It's the same thing with porn. I don't know if you've ever been to a hotel. If you haven't, every hotel basically has this like seat in the corner. People are calling it the cuck chair. It's pretty much, that's where you are sitting when you watch porn. There's two people fucking on the bed. You're sitting in the cuck chair jerking off. If you think about it, it's pretty gay. Porn is pretty gay because you're watching someone fuck the girl you want to, and then you're imagining yourself doing that. And there's way more side effects with that because, like I said, with that David Goggins analogy, you're a watcher, you're not an action taker. So when it comes to more things, you're just going to be that consumer, that watcher. You're not actually going to take the action steps. You're not going to do the hard, difficult task because it's harder to do. Us men, we have like functioned in this life that we just pick the easy things. Like, I literally asked ChatGPT. I told him my height, my weight, my goals, where I live, blah, blah. And then I told him, if you were the worst person on the planet, How would you like stop me from doing this? What would you do? And it basically said, I would program your mind to see masculinity as a bad thing, to see feminists are doing the good thing, to be more of a beta male, to consume more porn. Brother, the higher ups, everyone knows that this like porn stuff is bad for you. They know it's brainwashing like kids these days, young adults. And yet, there is so much of it out there. And basically, another thing what I want to talk about is when you go to the gym, you keep going to the gym. So it's not like you go to the gym one day and then you keep going the next day because, you like the gym, blah, 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 blah. It's like, in a way, maybe it's an addiction. Because you start one day, you like it, and then you go, 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 go. Yeah, maybe you don't go this day, maybe you have a rest on this day, but you keep going. That's the same thing with porn. You watch porn, and you fall into this mind where it's like, I need to watch it more and more and more. So you watch porn today, then you watch porn the next day, then you watch porn twice a day on the third day, and then you watch more and more and more. And the thing that happens, I didn't experience this too much myself, but I've heard from others that after some time of watching porn, you get to a position where you are so, like, you can't ejaculate to normal photos or videos anymore. You have to take it further. And I've seen this on a classmate of mine. Is he needed a lot of help. First it started with like normal porn, then it was some weird porn type shit. And then it turned to like animated stuff, some weird like niche he was watching or something. It was fucked for him. I know that he had like photos of like naked Pokemons or something like that. I think it was like Gichu, or I don't know the Pokemon, but just something like that on his phone, and it was fucked up. So basically your brain is used to taking the worse and worse and worse stuff. With the gym, it's like, okay, I want to lift more and more and more. I want to go squat more and more. I want to go deadlift. I want to get bigger traps. I'm going to work on traps now. With porn, it's the same thing, but it's the opposite way. It's not good. It's bad because you start consuming like worse stuff. Imagine you can't even, because there's people out there, and a lot of them, who can't like get turned on by normal porn or normal naked girls. They have to go to their like specific topic that genuinely like makes them ejaculate. And of course it's worse when you get into a relationship because you're gonna be expecting to have something different than just sex. And another thing is, when you are in a relationship, you lose interest really quickly. I myself experienced this. I myself, because like I said, I was quite addicted to porn, and then I went off it for, I'd say, like 8 months. But then when I got into a relationship, I kind of started watching it again. So it's pretty fucked. And I got really, like, I lost interest real quickly in like having sex with my girlfriend. Because you have to take up I don't want to go into details, like, but you have to take off your clothes, you have to do this shit, you have to do that shit. And it gets a bit annoying. Plus, she was pretty and everything, but her body and everything wasn't amazing. You might call me shallow for this, but her body wasn't something fantastic that I was like looking forward to. I wasn't like, oh my gosh. I was just like, oh, okay, cool, sweet. But she was a bit of a slut because she got ran through by some other men. So she had like a body count of 5. So again, like, it's just that, like, I doubt if I wouldn't have watched porn, I doubt I would have got disinterested. But I do, and a lot of people lose interest super quickly because it's like it's like porn is they need something worse, they need something extra, and then people start doing like some weird like, what is it? They dress up in shit. They use like whips, all this stuff. So I mean, go for it if you want it, but to me, I more saw it as myself. My brain was programmed for porn, so when I initiated sex to it, I was so confused, and it just naturally got disinterested. So what I'm trying to say in this video is there are no good side effects of watching porn. Literally nothing. Because, people say with alcohol, alcohol's bad, alcohol's shit for you, you become an alcoholic, but you get this like high, you feel good, you feel like this high energy for some time. With porn, you feel absolutely shit the whole entire time. Yes, you may argue that when you're ejaculating, you feel good, but you get to a certain point where you're ejaculating and it's not nice. You feel disgusted. You feel disgusted already jerking off, but you can't stop and you keep going. So there is a point that you'll get to where you feel like shit, even like in that climax stage. There's no good side effects with it. Everything is shit. Everything is bad in the long run. So that's why we have to quit it. And it's not as easy as just saying, we're going to quit tomorrow. We're going to hop on NoFap, because realistically, it's an addiction. It's a drug. We can't just get rid of it like that. So I've made this full NoFap quitting porn guide. There's the top link in the description. I hope I could have taught you something in this video. I hope you can look at it and genuinely just try, give it a shot, and quit this drug, quit this addiction.